Hello and welcome to the Union Pacific Railroad Geneva Subdivision. This is yet another cab ride across the Geneva Subdivision. Now, I just did a cab ride a couple days ago, and you may be wondering why I'm doing a second one. Well, this is a completely different one, the same main line, but now we're going eastbound. We started off at the passenger station there in Clinton, which is the most western part of the main line, and we are now heading east toward Chicago. Of course, just east of Clinton is the Mississippi River Bridge. So that's one of the first things that we are going to do is go across the bridge. As you can see, we did have the green light to go across, so we are now proceeding over the three different spans of the Mississippi River crossing. From the Mississippi River, now we are heading across northern Illinois. So this represents just generic northern Illinois countryside from the Mississippi River eastward, and now we are coming into Franklin Grove. One thing I really like about the cab ride is it really makes the curves look very realistic. Another green signal going through Franklin Grove. The minimum radius curves on the Geneva Sub is 36 inches. So a lot of these curves, if we're curving right, since we're on track 1, it would actually be a little bit bigger than 36 inches. And then there are some curves that are just some very broad curves, like this one right here, and that must be something like 50-inch radius, and so it just looks very prototypical as it goes through the curves. Now, this is a good view of the intermodal facilities at Global 3. You can see the check-in and check-out facilities there. A couple of trucks coming in and leaving Global 3. Of course, the way the main line is set up, the main line is actually here back behind the Global 3 yard. So you really, when you get to this point, can't see much of the yard. Of course, the yard was designed to be able to be seen by the operators, not by the main line cab. But for this particular cab ride video, it is a little bit of a lot of facilities being blocked by the double stacks there. You can see a little bit of the engine facilities to the right. All right, here we go into another couple of curves. Again, so what you're looking at right now is probably about 37.5-inch radius. That actually, to be honest with you, looks pretty prototypical. It may be probably still too sharp for the prototype. I'm not sure what the minimum radius is on the prototype Geneva Sub, but that looks pretty good. All right, now we're going back behind the trees and having a backwoods meet here with a opposing train. That was a patched Southern Pacific unit leading this particular manifest train. So I have the speed here set at about 30 scale miles per hour, which is generally about how fast we run the trains. It takes about 15 minutes to go all the way around at this speed. Here you can see some of the new roads that I put in at the interchange yard in Rochelle. Here we're going across the crossing. And now, with the green there, we're going to be going across the across the crossing, the BNSF Union Pacific crossing. Here's a railroad park there. I think this is the area of the layout I'll probably work on next. So it'll be, when I get it done, more through the rest of Rochelle, we'll do another cab ride and see how closely it looks like the actual Rochelle. Okay, so now we're on the very eastern part of Rochelle and on the outskirts, leaving Rochelle, going across another broad curve. Now here we're on the inside curve, so this is the 36-inch radius. And then we're meeting another train as we go across the Rock River. So here we have a meet on the bridge. Alright, going through the wall and entering Wheaton. So that little wall that we went through represents about 50 miles from Rochelle to Wheaton. And then this will be Wheaton. Not sure when I'm going to get to this part here. So when we go through, it'll be mostly parking lot to the right, and then there'll be a station right there, modeled after the UP station, the metro station in Wheaton. And then there'll be warehouses. I have just one there. The warehouses will probably be about 3-4 times the size of that. Maybe some homes there possibly. And then now we're leaving Wheaton and heading towards Elmhurst. I didn't crop this video like I did for the westbound run. So as we watch the train go across the main line, you get a much better view of the room that the layout is in. So here you can see the little hallway between the two rooms. And then there's the stairs going upstairs. Right now we're entering Elmhurst. And coming up on the metro station. Now if you notice, we kind of jerked there a little bit. The camera actually hit the crossing arm. I had a crossing arm just a little bit too close. Now you may notice I have both crossing arms on one side of the road. That's because both those roads are one-way roads. So the crossing arms are both on the same sides. All right, going through another wall here and then heading into Proviso. Going under the Mannheim Road overpass. Going eastbound here, you get a lot better view of Proviso, just the way that the camera is aimed. So there you have the engine facilities there, another green signal. So the engine facilities to the left, excursion trains to the right. The engine house was modeled after the actual engine house in Proviso. There's a car shops to the right, more locomotives of the engine facilities. And then here you can get a good view of the Proviso yard itself. So you have the tower there, to the white tower there, the walkway across the main line, or across the yard lead, and then there you have the actual classification tracks with cars in the classification track. So you have the two main lines, then you have an engine track, and then two arrival and departure tracks, and then the classification tracks. Again, since you have the wide angle here, you can see the whole room pretty much. All right, so now we're just coming up on the other throat end of the yard, and looks like we're passing another train. This time it's a double stack train. Another green signal. There's the yard crew locomotives there for Proviso. For the east end of the yard, there's 2 locomotives for the west end of the yard also. So the two crews can work in tandem during operating sessions. All right, then Proviso, we go around another broad curve here and come into Maywood, Illinois. There will be a street along the left-hand side here, a metro station here also, parking lots. There's a McDonald's, I believe, here somewhere, like right there to the left. And then as you leave Maywood, we cross the Des Plaines River. Now here you can see Godzilla looks like on the layout. I use a mirror here to help it look better, but you can actually see myself there in the mirror. If you lean over too much, you can actually see the reflection of the trains or yourself if you lean enough. But if you look at it from the right angle, it looks perfect. All right, here we're now in the back bedroom of the basement, coming into River Forest. All right, and then there's the station there. And then from River Forest, we go ahead and head into the staging yard, which starts in the closet of the bedroom here. And this is the east staging yard. And then there's also the west staging yard. And even though we have an east staging yard and a west staging yard, they're basically the same staging yard and the same track. But this brings us to the end. I hope you have enjoyed this cab ride on the UP Railroad Geneva Subdivision. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Take care.